A survival story about being locked in a car. Okay, you guys, I was not initially planning to film this review at this particular moment, but we had a planned live stream that had to be canceled. So I decided while I had my lights on and all that stuff and everything ready to go, I'd just go ahead and do a review for this upcoming movie called Locked, starring Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins. I saw this earlier, and I liked it enough that I wanted to talk about it, though my initial thought was that maybe I would just do an audio review, a quick take review, but I changed my mind. So the premise of the film is Bill Skarsgård plays this kind of down on his luck, sort of loser guy. He hasn't made the best choices in life. He's trying, but he keeps making mistakes along the way. He's not doing so well in life. And so he, when you get a little desperate, you sometimes entertain the idea of doing things you shouldn't be doing. He has a daughter he cares for very much, but he's not able to provide for her. He's estranged from his wife or the mother of his child. So, we are thrust into this situation with him. The intro to him and his issues, it's opened up to us right away. And it's a pretty solid intro to his character. It doesn't take long. We just have a couple few minutes of intro scene with him, and we've got it pretty well pieced together what's going on with his life. We don't need much more than that. This film as a whole is not very long, maybe only about 90 minutes, so it's a quick watch. I enjoyed it. I thought that it was a pretty solid survival type film, and I found out after I saw it that it is apparently a remake of an Argentinian film called 4x4. I looked that up. I had planned to watch it before doing a review, never got around to watching it. I would like to see it just to compare and contrast the two. That was kind of my plan, but like I said, I didn't do it. If you guys are interested in that, it is on Tubi. I checked the link right before I started filming. The link is still active. It works. Back to the story. He comes across this really nice looking car in a parking lot, and I can't remember if the door was already unlocked or if he forced his way in. I want to say I think the door was unlocked. Sorry, I'm distracted by my dog. What else is new, right? So he gets in the car. It's not really a car. It's this nice SUV brand name I've never heard of. And he gets in there and he's looking for stuff to steal. And then he discovers quickly that he cannot get out of the car. It has been locked. And this sets into motion a conflict between him and the character of Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins has outfitted this car to lock in intruders, to torment them, to physically torture them, basically. And he has these conversations with him through the stereo system or something. He's got like intercom, or he's got cameras in there. He can see everything that Bill Skarsgård's character is doing. That's the basic premise of this film. It's very simple. Like I said, it's pretty quick. We have the intro to the character. We have the setup for what's going to set in motion the chain of events of this whole story. And then we have the bulk of the movie. He's trapped in this car. And then, of course, we have the climax of the film. If you've seen the trailers, you already see some of the things that's going to happen in the story. I haven't seen the trailer yet, but I felt like it was an interesting premise, maybe not necessarily the most unique. I mean, besides the movie 4x4, I know they've done those sort of reality shows where they lock people in cars that are trying to steal it. This kind of reminded me of that, obviously, but I don't know if they've made any other movies that are similar to this. If I'm wrong, let me know. I might be curious to check it out. So in general, I enjoyed this film. I like the setup. I like the length. I like the acting. Obviously, Bill Skarsgård, Anthony Hopkins, two great actors kind of, going head to head in this film. It's a small cast because it's really basically only the two of them, and primarily Bill Skarsgård. I like seeing how he starts to piece things together about this guy that's tormenting him. There are also multiple times where they get into these almost like these philosophical discussions about things like political ideology and class issues or class discrepancies. It was interesting to see this play out between them. Bill Skarsgård was kind of like, the typical, because he's down on his luck because of bad mistakes he's made, he's blaming everybody else pretty much. So he's kind of like has this almost like this socialistic type mindset. Everything should just be kind of handed to people, whatever. Anthony Hopkins is like, look, I have worked hard for what I have, and I'm sick of people coming and trying to take my stuff just because they feel like they can, or it's there so they feel like they can just do whatever. So you have these sort of clash of ideologies between these two people. And then it eventually builds to this climax where it's life and death sort of thing that's happening. Oh, Chibi, hold on a minute. You want to get up? False alarm. What was I saying? It builds to this life and death sort of showdown between them. And then it's pretty much over. I'm curious to see what sort of differences there are between this and the original, or if this is just a pure remake, that nothing much has been added or changed. I did like also there is a sequence where there is a car crash that happens. I felt like that was done very well. However, by the time the film was done, I was like, well, this was good. I liked it. I do feel like there would be injuries that would be much more severe given everything that the protagonist had gone through. So, you have your typical sort of moments where you have to suspend your disbelief when it comes to certain things that happen. I felt like it was an enjoyable enough viewing experience, and it's coming out in theaters March 21st. Another reason I felt like I needed to go ahead and get this review done is I will be out of town. I'm going to be going to Planet Comic-Con with Sound Booth Theater next week, so I won't really be here much to do any reviews. So maybe I'll put this out the week of its release, but I don't really have much more to say about Locked. Just would like to ask if anybody has seen 4x4, and if you have, did you like it? And if you get around to watching Locked, what were the differences or the similarities between them? I can answer that myself, obviously, by watching this film. And though I have aspirations to watch it, doesn't mean I will be able to get around to it anytime soon. And then by the time I have time, I'm distracted with something else because there's always movies that are demanding my attention. Anyway, I don't have much more to say, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.